Jim Bolger has passed away. This is sad news. Jim Bolger was Prime Minister of New Zealand throughout most of the 1990s. He won a historic landslide for the National Party, promising to reject the neoliberalism of the Fourth Labour government and return to the old ways. Then he steamed ahead on the neoliberal course in a shameless betrayal of the voters. Key election promises, including the promise to abolish the infamous superannuation surcharge, were abandoned. Trade unions were decimated, workers' entitlements were slashed, benefits were cut, and child poverty doubled. It was a very destructive 3 years. It was so bad that even after their historic victory, National almost lost the next election, holding on by a single seat. Had the electoral system been proportional, they would have lost. During his second term, Jim Bolger corrected course somewhat. He sacked Ruth Richardson, who had led the hideous reform. Notably, Jim Bolger promoted treaty settlements in an attempt at righting historic wrongs. Jim Bolger was certainly not a total right-wing fanatic. I encourage people to watch some of the interviews he did in more recent years. He is strongly opposed to racist politics and has criticised Don Brash and Donald Trump. Bolger decimated trade unions. That is likely the worst part of his legacy. To his credit, he seems to have recognised that was a mistake. He denounced neoliberalism as a failure. He said trade unions should have more power. He presided over an inquiry that recommended the last Labour government introduce fair pay agreement legislation to empower trade unions. They did just that, only for the anti-worker coalition to abolish it on behalf of their rich donor-class supporters. I think Jim Bolger cared about the country in a way that self-serving slobs like Christopher Luxon simply do not. Luxon has never broken with his party, he has never made a passionate argument or stated an unexpected opinion. Jim Bolger had many views that broke with National Party orthodoxy. He was an advocate of abolishing the monarchy and making New Zealand a republic. Of all the prime ministers we have had, he was probably the one who was the most vocal critic of the monarchy. He wanted New Zealand to embrace a more independent position in the world. Jim Bolger is an interesting man from a bygone era of New Zealand politics.